Hey everyone, I'm Espionic. I'm back, and so is the E3 season, and Nintendo has announced their plans for E3 this year. Just like last year, they did it with a very funny video. And let's just talk about what they have planned. The big surprise that they announced was that they're actually bringing back the Nintendo World Championships. I admittedly had to look this up since the last time it happened was back in 1990, and I've never been too familiar with the Nintendo World Championships, plus I was only 1 year old when it first happened. And anyway, according to my research, it was essentially a tournament that was based off of you playing in 3 different games. Back then it was Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and Tetris, and it would take your scores for each of those challenges, and I think the Rad Racer and Tetris sections, your scores were multiplied, and you had to do all this. You had, I think, 6 minutes and 21 seconds to gather up your score as high as possible. And it sounds pretty cool, actually. Now that I think about it, in NES Remix they had something like that where you do challenges in that amount of time, I think. So I'm wondering if they're going to have NES Remix as a basis of that sort of thing for the World Championships this year. I wonder if they'll include some newer games or replace the other types of games that they had back then with like different retro games, like instead of Super Mario Brothers, maybe Donkey Kong Country or something. I don't know, but it sounds really cool. I would actually probably be more excited to see this in a Smash Brothers tournament, honestly. But anyway, they also announced that they were going to have Mario Maker playable at Best Buy on June 17th and June 20th. I wasn't expecting Mario Maker. I mean, in the end, it kind of makes sense. I was thinking more along the lines of, say, Yoshi's Woolly World. The thing about Mario Maker, it seems like a game you need a bit more time to really get the full effect of, you know, where you create a stage and someone plays it. It seems like it's not a pick up and play very quickly sort of thing. Either way, it's the 30th anniversary game for Nintendo's flagship franchise, so I can see why they went with that game instead for that reason. They also confirmed that they're bringing back the Nintendo Treehouse, which I don't think there was no way that this was not going to come back. I mean, after last year, they did random live streams like at different points throughout the past year. I mean, I remember they had one back in, I think, September last year where they were just randomly showing off games like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and Bayonetta 2. It's just like, they did that because they knew the fans loved it that much, and not having that would just be a massive downgrade from last year right off the bat. So I'm really glad they're bringing that back. I'll actually probably get a chance to watch a lot more of it this year than I did last year, because I kind of have internet now. It's not particularly great internet, but it's better than nothing. And of course, they're going to have the Nintendo Digital event again this year, which is really good in my opinion. I mean, I've said this last year actually, I've never been a huge fan of press conferences ever. I only saw the one Nintendo had back in 2016, or no, not 2016, 2006, and it felt kind of slow to me. It wasn't focused enough on the games, I felt like, so I never bothered watching any press conferences ever again. I had more fun watching the trailers and archive live streams that GameSpot, which was what I did for pretty much every year up until 2013 when Nintendo did the Direct instead, and a lot of people hated the idea of that, but to this day, I will still defend E3 2013 for Nintendo. I thought it was an awesome year. But that's mostly because of the games that they showed. That and the presentation, to me, it was much more focused on games, and that's what's important to me when looking at stuff at E3. The following year, or last year I should say, they greatly improved on it. I mean, the Nintendo Digital event last year was just so amazing. I absolutely loved it. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. It really did feel like it was yesterday, where I was in an absolutely awful mood. I felt so sad, so depressed about some stupid personal thing, and I can't tell you how happy I felt just within watching the first minute of the digital event last year. I don't think I went from so sad to so thrilled so quickly in my entire life ever. The robot chicken skits were just so hilarious, poking fun at the Nintendo fans and Nintendo themselves a bit. It was just so funny. The Reggie and Iwata fight is just the most epic thing ever. I still remember the things that they showed that I wanted the most to see. I wanted to see Zelda and Midna and Hyrule Warriors. I got that. I wanted to see a Wii U port of Bayonetta 1, and not only did they did that, they put both games together. And the Palutena reveal for Smash Brothers, if I wasn't watching that at the library, I would have bursted into tears of joy for like 10 minutes straight. I was dying that badly to have her in the game, and the fact that that happened, I was just... that made... all of that just made E3 for me last year, and the way Nintendo's talking about it this year is that they're aiming to make this even bigger and better than ever. And I mean, last year is going to be it's going to be tough to beat last year, but Nintendo seems like they're up to the challenge, and I'm so excited to see what they do. Alright, so tell me what you guys think in the comment section. This has been Espionic, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Oh, great. Bill, you're fired.
You're a virtual